Look at this photo. Just look at it. We are literally staring at what might be the most extraordinary private estate in the entire state of Texas, and nobody talks about it. A medieval limestone castle hidden inside a private forested peninsula, surrounded by water on three sides, right in the middle of Houston. And that skyline in the background? That's downtown Houston, 10 minutes away. I need you to understand what you're looking at. This is not somewhere in the English countryside, this is Texas. Now look at this entrance. That's Indiana limestone, sourced from the same quarry that supplied stone for some of the most iconic landmarks in American history. That arched portal is pure Richardsonian Romanesque architecture, hand-carved columns flanking a monumental bronze door. And through that door, we'll get there. But I promise you, nothing is going to prepare you for what's inside this 22,000 square foot manor. This property is the Lodge at Hunters Creek, 107 Timberwilde Lane, Houston, Texas. Currently listed at $49,900,000, and that's actually after a $10 million price drop. Look at this aerial photo. This is the full picture of what we're dealing with. That label says guest house, and look how far it is from the main manor. We're talking acres apart, two completely separate residences on the same 8-acre peninsula. The main manor, 22,000 square feet, 8 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms, and the guest house, a completely self-contained, 2-story private retreat sitting on its own hilltop above a creek bend. That's an estate within an estate. In Houston, with 24-hour man security and its own dedicated police from Hunters Creek Village. And here's the detail that makes this property truly unlike anything else in Texas. Look at this aerial. That creek, raised by you, wraps all the way around this entire peninsula like a natural moat. 3 sides of this property are enclosed by water and old-growth forest. The fourth, a greenbelt adjacent to a championship golf course. There is no comparable setting anywhere in Houston. You're looking at one of the last truly private land formations inside a major American city. An island, essentially, in the middle of urban Texas. I mean, look at this approach. That gravel driveway disappears into a cathedral of old-growth hardwoods. You can't even see the house. This is how you arrive. The world outside just dissolves. Before you see a single stone of that manor, you've already understood. This is different. This is a place designed to remove you completely from the noise of the city, and yet you're less than 10 miles from downtown Houston. Now look at this photo. This is the foyer, and I need you to stop and actually absorb what you're seeing. That staircase. The mahogany millwork is hand-carved. Every single baluster, every newel post, every panel. It took master craftsmen years to execute this level of detail. The crystal chandelier above it, the paired bronze wall sconces, the limestone floors underfoot, and look at that Gothic archway corridor in the background, how it telescopes through the entire home. This is not a house that's trying to impress you. This is a house that simply is impressive, whether it tries or not. And look at this frame, this elaborate mahogany pediment above the transition from foyer into the formal salon. Those diamond stud motifs, that carved family crest at the apex, those pilasters flanking the opening. This is architectural joinery at a caliber you almost never see in residential construction anymore. This detail alone would be the centerpiece of most luxury homes. Here, it's a doorway. Just the doorway. And don't miss this detail on the upper level, a custom wrought iron elevator cage. Not hidden away in a utility corridor, displayed like sculpture because that's exactly what it is. Every piece of ironwork in this house was hand-forged. The elevator, the library balcony, the spiral staircase, it's all a continuous conversation in hand-worked metal. Below it, look at that parquet block flooring in rich chestnut tones. The craftsmanship in this home is extraordinary. Look at this room. The walls are Indiana limestone, the same material as the exterior facade. Continuing inside, giving you this feeling that the architecture doesn't stop at the front door. It flows through every room like a geological formation. That fireplace around is hand-carved to a level of intricacy that is genuinely breathtaking. Twisted columns, foliate capitals, the Gothic arch firebox. There's a grand piano in the corner. Original artwork on the walls. The only word for this room is magnificent. Now, this room is something else entirely. Look at that ceiling. That's a deeply coffered ceiling finish in lacquered black with gold accents. Then look at that stone fireplace. The mantelpiece has an antique clock integrated directly into the stone carving. It's not placed on the mantel, it I as the mantel. It's a single composition. The French doors open to the gardens, and on the left side you have another set of full-height glass doors. This room exists in a beautiful tension between enclosure and openness. It is genuinely one of the most distinctive interior spaces I have ever seen. And look at that dining table. That base is a sculptural piece in its own right, intertwining organic forms in dark mahogany, like the roots of an ancient tree. And it seats 14. But honestly, what I can't stop looking at are those walls of glass on both sides of the room. You're surrounded by an ancient hardwood forest while you dine, 2 stories of trees at eye level. That plasterwork barrel vault on the ceiling is exquisite, decorated with classical egg and dart molding, and the combination of a crystal and bronze chandelier against a coffered plaster vault against a forest backdrop, it's almost cinematic. And here's that same dining room photographed at night, a completely different mood. The paneled mahogany walls are warmly lit. The forest becomes a dark mirror in the glass. Imagine hosting a dinner here. 14 guests, candlelight, that chandelier above. This is the room where the conversations you remember for the rest of your life happen. Okay, look at this kitchen and tell me you've ever seen anything like it. That island countertop is solid emerald green glass, not stone, not quartz, hand-cast emerald glass. The cabinetry is matte black with custom arch, pattern metal mesh inserts, almost Moorish in their geometry. Pendant lanterns in antique brass above. This kitchen doesn't follow a trend. It creates one. It's a chef's kitchen that also happens to be a work of art. And look at this angle. That entire far wall of the kitchen is a curved bay of black frame glass doors, almost like a greenhouse. Natural light floods in from every direction. You have a professional gas range on the island, double ovens on the right wall, and under that main sink, floor-to-ceiling glass with a garden view. The herringbone hardwood floors ground the whole composition. This is what happens when a kitchen has no budget constraints and a world-class design team. Okay, look at this photo and tell me this isn't the most extraordinary private library you have ever seen. 2 full stories of built-in mahogany bookcases, a hand-forged wrought iron spiral staircase to access the upper gallery, iron balcony railings with scrollwork so intricate they look like lacework. And look at that floor. It's a herringbone pattern in alternating warm hardwood and inlaid black marble diamonds. Floor-to-ceiling glass doors open directly to the garden on the far side. This is a room you disappear into for an entire day. Look at this courtyard photograph. It's taken at night, and what you're seeing is a formal reflecting pool with illuminated jet fountains, a mirror of water in the center of the motor court. The Indiana limestone facade is dramatically lit. Climbing vines frame the windows, and on the right side you can see the round turret of the main manor. This courtyard is private, completely enclosed by the architecture of the house. It is one of the most beautifully composed outdoor spaces I have seen on this channel. And look at this garden. That is a formal French parterre. The swirling patterns and the hedgerows and flowering plants are precisely maintained. This is the kind of garden you find at historic European estates. It takes a dedicated groundskeeping team to maintain, and at this property it shows. Everything is impeccably manicured, impeccably alive. Now look at this detail in the gardens, a sculptural ceramic fountain in black and charcoal mosaic tile, pouring into a still rectangular reflection pool, surrounded entirely by ferns and native plantings. This property has multiple water features, multiple garden rooms, multiple sculpture installations. Walking these grounds is like moving through a private botanical garden and art park simultaneously. And now, look at this photo. Just look at it. This is the outdoor pavilion at night, reflected perfectly in the surface of the Gunite pool. This is the photo that stops the scroll. The circular pavilion with its colonnade of dark columns, the warm cedar ceiling glowing with recessed light, the pool as still as a mirror below. This is genuinely one of the most beautiful outdoor living photographs I have seen. You could frame this and put it on a museum wall, and from this angle you can see the full complexity of the pool design. There's a raised stone wall with a cascading water feature along the far edge. The pool itself has organic curves wrapping around planted islands. The terrace gardens step down behind it. All of it lit at that perfect blue hour moment when the sky and the pool become the same color. Look at the scale of those trees surrounding everything. This outdoor landscape has the feel of a private nature reserve. Now let me show you the guest house. And this alone could be listed as a standalone luxury home. Look at this photograph. A two-story stucco residence with its own covered porte-cochere, its own pool, its own screened porch, its own fireplaces. It sits acres away from the main manor, on a separate hilltop completely enclosed by the creek on three sides. The privacy from both structures is absolute. Guests who stay in this house are in their own world, completely self-contained, completely private. Inside the guest house, you find this beautifully relaxed living room, exposed cedar beam ceiling, a hand-laid stone fireplace with a roaring fire, French doors opening on both sides to covered porches. It's warm, it's human-scaled, it's cozy in a way the main manor, by its very nature, cannot be. And look at those hardwood floors. The quality of construction in the guest house matches the main residence in every way. And this screened porch on the guest house, look at that cathedral wood beam ceiling. The wicker seating is arranged to face panoramic views of the forest canopy and the pool deck below. This is where you have your morning coffee. This is where you watch thunderstorms roll across the tree line. This is where you read for 3 uninterrupted hours. There's a reason properties like this don't become available. People who find them never want to leave. Now look at this desk photograph of the main manor, and let's talk about what this property actually represents in the market. The listing description puts it perfectly. Comparable estates of this scale in New York, Los Angeles, or London command between $80 and $150 million. This property is priced at $49 million, and that's after a $10 million price reduction. The construction cost alone: Indiana limestone, commercial-grade steel frame, 8 fireplaces, a cathedral library, a hand-forged elevator, a 2-story Gothic pub. This cannot be replicated at this number. What you're buying is irreplaceable. The land, the peninsula, the water frontage, the forest canopy, the adjacency to the golf course. None of it can be manufactured. And this final aerial says everything. A medieval limestone castle, tucked into an ancient forest, wrapped by a natural waterway, adjacent to a championship golf course, 10 minutes from downtown Houston, inside one of Texas's most elite and autonomous municipalities. Its own police per department, its own schools rated among the finest in the state. The lodge at Hunters Creek is not a listing, it is a legacy, and it is, without question, one of the most significant private estates in the American South. And that wraps our tour of the lodge at Hunters Creek 107 Timberwilde Lane, Houston, Texas. Listed at $49,900. 22,000 square feet, 8 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms, 8 acres, 2 residences, a private peninsula, waterfront cathedral library, Gothic pub, chef's kitchen, and that pavilion at night that I cannot stop thinking about. All the information is down in the description as always. Now I want to know, which photo stopped you cold? Was it that night shot of the pavilion reflected in the pool? The 2-story library with the spiral staircase? Or that incredible bar with the 2-story Gothic windows? Drop it in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. We have more properties coming that you are not going to believe. We'll see you next week.